Okay, good evening everybody. My theme tonight is about working in partnership to commercialise new ideas. So my particular perspective has been from my experience working within organisations to generate new business streams. The quick introduction, VTNZ, you probably know who VTNZ is. Most of you, put your hands up if you've had a warrant in the last 6 months or a year or so. So we deliver vehicle inspections around the country. We've got 85 stations. We mainly deliver services for the Transport Agency. So my role with VTNZ is to develop new business streams sort of outside of that relationship, if you like. My career has moved from engineering through sales, business development, and people and project management. So I've tried a few different things. But new business development is really the area that I've enjoyed the most. That's probably where I've had the most success. I'm going to tell you a little bit later on about a new service that VTNZ has launched this year, which is generating an additional $1 million a year, which is good stuff for us. So the three things I want to talk to you about tonight are VTNZ's involvement with the Bright Ideas Challenge, a couple of examples from my experience, and also to give you some of the lessons that I've learned along the way. So our involvement with the Bright Ideas Challenge is a little bit different probably than some of the other organisations. We're working on two different levels, if you like. One is that we're developing or getting ideas internally from within the organisation. So we've got about 34 ideas so far, and there's some good ones amongst them. They're not all new, but that's okay. The criteria that we gave our staff was we wanted new ideas that would generate significant long-term revenue for the organisation. So we were saying more than 50,000 a year. A couple of examples, just to give you a couple of examples of things that have come through that process. You probably remember the Queen's birthday weekend blitz they had with the speeding, yeah? So we had some suggestions after that. Why don't you test the accuracy of speedometers? Yeah, so, can we do it? How would we go about it? But yeah, essentially it's not a bad idea. Another idea was, how many of you own boats? A few? No, nobody? Not many? One idea that we had was, why wouldn't you partner with Maritime New Zealand or Water Safety New Zealand and try to inspect boats for safety, so inspect trailer boats for safety. So yeah, it's worth a thought. The thing that we're doing a little bit differently with Bright Ideas is we've, with Marianne, developed this Solve My Problem site. VTNZ, I think, is the sole one on there so far. But the concept is that we're opening up the competition, we're opening up VTNZ to the outside world, if you like. Give us some ideas about what you think we could do better. Many of you are our customers. So it's really good to get that fresh external perspective. It's good to think that we might be able to partner up with some entrepreneurs out there to actually solve a problem within a business. Yeah, so we're getting a mixture of internal and external ideas. There's a good process, and we've got some good ideas, so we're expecting some good results out of it. So a couple of examples. I mentioned this new service that we're launching. It's called WAF Plus Checker. So basically it's an upsell from the standard warrant. So you go in to get your warrant and we'll ask, can we check your oil and water, your brake fluid, your battery charge, your tyre pressure, we'll pump up your tyres, check your spare tyre, etc. So all this for only an extra $20. Yeah, it's great. Good going. Here's my pitch. So it's been a real success for us. What it's shown, I think, is that we've hit on a customer need. I mean, who checks oil and water these days? Nobody does. But also, it's unlocked some sales potential within the organisation. We found that our front counter staff we're incentivising them, mind you, but we're finding that they're enjoying selling a new service. So, in terms of my theme of partnership, I guess partnership's been important in terms of generating the ideas and developing the ideas, but also, of course, working within an organisation. It's about partnering with the leadership team and the shareholder and the field staff to actually make the idea work. Another example, from a previous business development role I had with a company called Windsor Engineering, was we partnered with a company called Cleanzion, and the challenge was to develop a sheep washing and drying system. So you're probably thinking, okay, why do sheep need to be washed and dried? But before you slaughter sheep, it's important to have them clean. It improves the bacteria count, which ends up more shelf life and longer export, or better export marketing. So there's quite big bucks involved in that. Cleanzion came to Windsor with, they had an idea, they had a customer, they had a prototype. What they needed was the expertise, the manufacturing expertise, the product development expertise, the engineering and design expertise, and that's what Windsor provided. So it was a good mix, and like most partnerships, we both brought strengths to it, and it was a win-win. So in the 4-year period, Windsor sold 7 systems. It was worth of the order of $1.5 to $2 million to Windsor. So it's not the biggest thing we've done, but I thought I'd mention it because it's a bit different. So the key point from those examples is that internal and external partnerships are both important for commercialisation. So with your ideas, it's about seeing which partners you can team up with. So finally, just some tips or some lessons I've learned along the way. Just re-emphasising Mark's point really, that there are lots of good ideas out there, and I guess this competition is evidence of that. There's 700 odd ideas that have come through, so that's fantastic. Commercialising them is the hard bit. Make sure you've done your homework and make sure you know where you're heading with it. Think about whether your market is growing, the market that you've identified is growing, and whether you have a competitive advantage. Do you have a point of differentiation? Because if you don't, you might be wasting your time. I guess the key point is that you can't do it alone. Well, you can try, but you're probably going to fail. So find partners. Identify the strengths of those partners and your own strengths and what you bring to the table. Another key point is, I think, to enter those sort of arrangements and enter those relationships with trust. I've seen a lot of business opportunities and partnerships fail over the years because parties didn't go in with trust. I'm probably going to get into trouble here from Angela from Baldwin, but IP protection and contracts, etc., can end up taking a lot of time in those early stages of commercialisation. I'd encourage you to get out there and do something with the partners and not get too bogged down in the paperwork. Often you can spend so much time talking about what you might do and putting paperwork around it, you never actually do anything. Have you thought about using your first customer as a partner? Share the risk and reward. Remember that commercialisation is an investment. You could argue it's gambling, I suppose. So you need to understand the risk and return mix. Your investors need to be happy with it. You need to be happy with that risk-return mix. And my final point is that persistence is important. These things take a lot longer than you ever hope they will. But a bit like gambling, I guess you need to know when to press on and you need to know when to cut your losses. So my key message tonight is about partnership. You need partners to grow your business. You need partners to commercialise your ideas. So choose them wisely and good luck.